it's Elizabeth. How are you? So, I'm going to be talking today about the crisis, sort of the crisis. I'm here because I love my business and I don't want to see anything happen to it. Even something that's out of my control, I don't want to see anything go wrong, right? And I know that all of you are in the same boat and you're thinking, what the heck do we do now? So I'm here to chat with you about that and see if there's anything that I can do to assist. I have a few ideas of different companies that I've been working with, some clients, some not clients, that I wanted to share with you, some interesting things. And then I've got some tools I'm going to share with you as well on, just some of the things that I use on a regular basis because my business is completely online. I know some of yours are probably also, but just some of the things that I've been using that are a little bit more cost effective. And also, if you're not using a service for something, maybe you'll find that today. So, first thing I want to talk about is the ability to adapt. So, I actually did a podcast yesterday for my future business, and they asked questions that were really interesting. He was he was asking me some questions about resilience and about perseverance, and I didn't realize it, but he's asking me about my past and some things that I've done in my career and things like that. And I started telling stories and realized we've been through a lot. My company has been through a lot. I also realized that a lot of other entrepreneurs also have been. They have been through so much, um, and they have been so resilient and have come back from things. And it was like a gut punch. You got the wind knocked out of us a little bit. It wasn't that slow torture that we got through the recession. It was a little bit harder than that. It's a little bit more immediate. It's just kind of all happening at once. And so, but I realized that we've all been through something like this. I've had entrepreneurs who I've known who've been through family medical illnesses. They've had to take leave. I've had medical issues that I've had to slow my work or even stop my work for. Um, and through it all, we're still here. And it's because we keep going. It's because we keep thinking of new things to do and new things to try. So I just wanted to share a couple of ideas with you of people that I've worked with, like I said, and have, I know of. They've done some really innovative things. So the first one that I'm going to share with you is actually a company that does the painting. So the box, not the box, the canvas painting, those wood signs. This company locally to me in Jacksonville, Florida, they took their signs that they were going to have people paint on, took a few brushes, took some paint and some condiment cups, those little plastic cups, and they squirted paint in there and they put in some instructions and they did a little video that you could watch online and they put everything in a pizza box and they sold them. They sold kits that you could paint at home. I thought that was brilliant because everyone is at home doing nothing. Not doing nothing, but pretty close to it. We're at home. We are thinking, what am I going to do next? Do I just keep watching Netflix? Which is not what we want to be doing. And so, if you would normally go out and do something fun with your friends, then this is just a fun way of maybe doing that at home with your family. So, I thought that was a great, great idea. Another colleague of mine who owns a consignment store, she actually has been doing this for a long time. And she has created Facebook Lives where she has a private group. She only invites, customers to that group. And she will do a Facebook Live and she'll have a rack, next to her. And she'll stand up and she'll show you each piece, tell you what the brand is, tell you what the size is. She'll give you some measurements sometimes. She'll talk about the fabric. She'll talk about, the coloring. And she'll hold it up to the camera real close. And you'll be able to actually see some pretty good textures and colors and things like that. And all of us know that when we shop online, we want to have to try on the clothes usually to try them, right? Just at least see. But when it comes to things like that, which brands fit us, we know what things work for us. And we know things we're willing to take a gamble on, especially for the price, right? So she'll tell the price and she'll have a number. That's number one, number two, number three. And you will basically just say, I want number three sold, number four sold. And then she will ship it to you, which I think is awesome. And she's been doing those for years, which I thought was a crazy idea at first. But she really, really ramped it up. And I was surprised to say that she's doing it now still. And it's working great because she's been doing it for so long. So, hello guys, how are you? So I've just been telling some stories. um, so another story that I want to tell is about another local consignment shop, and she actually started to do the same type of lives, getting the rack and having the clothes and showing them to you. And she's still going to be doing those, which I think is great. But she also created a mystery box where she sells it for a flat fee. It's shipped and everything. And you're going to tell her what your size is, and then she's going to put 5 items in that box for a flat fee. And it's just mystery. You don't get to choose, you don't get to pick. You just get to see them when you get them. And I thought that was really great because some of these consignment shops, they don't have 10 of something or 5 of something. They're brick and mortars. You have to go in and touch and feel and look to get, to actually purchase something. So this is a great way for these consignment shops to stay open, because everyone knows that you can sell on Poshmark, and a lot of them do, and you can sell on eBay, and a lot of them do. But this is a way to actually interact with, actual customers who do come in on a regular basis, who have liked your Facebook page in the past. And people now are also using Facebook and websites and things like that to actually um, see if you're open, to see what your updates are, to see what your status is. And then they can actually see all of your new innovations if you're posting them out there and you're putting them on your website. Um, I have a client who is a float company. They have a float tanks, all the float tanks, massage, things like that. And they're doing their gift card sales like a lot of brick and mortars are. So that's another way of generating some sales now. Um, there have been several businesses that I've been working with as well who have just kept going. Lawn companies and roofing companies, construction, a lot of those places are still moving forward because they can social distance and they can do their jobs without really interacting with a lot of people. So, um, I want you to guys also tell me what some of your businesses are so we can do some brainstorming and get some ideas flowing here. I'm a marketer, and so I do have a little bit of an insight into that world. But at the same time, a lot of people are worried about even just selling in general. They're kind of afraid to sell. They're leery of it. They don't want to seem like they're taking advantage of a situation. And I actually think that now is the best time to be selling. We need to be really making sure that people hear our voice, that we're known, and that we're out there. So, so yeah, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. And if you're watching this on a replay, put replay in the comments. And I will come back and check the feed as well. So if there's any other comments that come in after this recording is over, I'll respond to you guys as well with some ideas. Um, there's a couple of things that I've been using for my business that have really helped me with online stuff, online sales, if you will. And one of those things is to work on your SEO. Now we have a lot of time at home, some of us, and we've had this kind of break where we're just kind of sitting at home a lot, and um, oh, Amy says she remembers when she felt icky about sales, but not anymore. That's right. We can sell without selling. So with SEO, your website is very important right now, and it's not necessarily people are just finding you randomly, but they're specifically seeking you out if they've done business with you before or they know that you do certain things. And so having stuff on your website can really give you a boost in times like this. So what we want to do is make sure that our SEO is up to date. And if you're using a simple site like Squarespace or something like that, it's really, really easy to do some SEO stuff. You've got options to add your keywords, to add descriptions, to add social images, and you can do some really easy things on your own. And then you can also beef up your profiles in other areas. Maybe you have a podcast profile somewhere. Maybe you have a speaker profile somewhere. Update those. Make sure that those are being. Maybe you buy the upgraded version for a little while just to put yourself out there first, and you just get that little boost. There's also things with Facebook ads. Facebook ads not my fave. Never has been. I've actually been doing Facebook ads for a couple of months and honestly didn't see any retraction from them at all. I spent a lot of money too. So if you're doing Facebook ads, maybe it's time to switch to some other methods. Work on your email lists. Be a little more proactive with that. So SEO, what does SEO mean? Good question, Genevieve. Thank you. SEO is search engine optimization. It's a way that your search engines will find your website and actually serve your website when the search permits it. So if someone says, I'm looking for a coach, and they put in some parameters of kind of coach, self-development, personal development, self-improvement, business coach, marketing coach, whatever that may be, then it'll actually serve up your site if Google thinks your site means the same thing. So if you've put on your website, I'm a marketing coach and I'm a business coach and those kind of things, then Google will say, oh, well, this site works and it's in the same, location, and there's all these algorithm pieces that it kind of looks through. And if your site checks off a lot of those boxes, then it will serve it up for the search. And then that customer will see it. Amy uses the Yoast plugin on her site to help her with SEO. Yoast is good. They're not the be all end all, I will say. They're using an algorithm as well, and it's not always the same one as Google. They try to keep it really similar. So just know that Yoast is not infallible. They're good. They're not infallible. And so there's a lot of articles too about learning about SEO, a lot of just really simple articles, simple things you can do to increase your SEO and get your site out there a little bit more. And then check your analytics, because the things you're doing may actually be helping. And then when you stop doing them or when you change them, that it might actually hurt your site. There's also a lot of stuff you can do on your site that will help with design-wise, that will help with SEO. So I had a client who had all of her fonts all crazy. She had her H1 were massive and her H2 was less massive, and then she had her headings 3 that were pretty big, and so she was using all these different pieces of her website in the wrong way. And so then Google was getting confused and it wasn't helping her any. So it looked good on her side, but Google didn't understand what she was doing, and then it just decided that her site wasn't really relevant. So we made some changes and she was able to see some more traction from that. Also, you don't want to just put all your eggs in one basket. SEO is one option, one thing you can try and work on. You don't want to have just one piece. So just social media is just one piece of marketing. Email marketing is one piece of marketing. Social or SEO is one piece of marketing. So what we want to do is use all these pieces together in the right way so that we can get the full push of marketing and get ourselves out there a little more. Because there's someone out there that doesn't need to hear what you have to say. There's someone out there who needs what you're offering still. Even if you were a speaker, and you got all your gigs closed off, I have been kind of forcing the people who hired me to speak to let me do online summits. I'm like, you know what? I can do this. All the person has to do is click one link and they're in. So we've actually switched a lot of our programming from all the speaking gigs I had. I think only 2 got canceled out of the 5 I had scheduled for the last 2 months. So, and then they were ones that needed more hands-on, and so I understand that they're going to reschedule those. But if you have things like that, there's alternatives. If you have the ability to say, I can take this for you, I will handle this for you, you just tell your people to be there. And then, send out the email with the link, that kind of thing. I actually use Zoom, which a lot of people do. I use a paid account. I have for a long time, just because it's so much easier that if I do need to do a meeting, I have the capabilities. If I get sick, if I have to stay home for some reason, if I don't have a car for some reason, or if I need to do a quick, on the fly meeting with someone and I've got back-to-back meetings and I've got a little bit of time in the middle. So those kinds of things are just different pieces that you can put in place now and start using now so that when we do all get back to things, you'll have these tools in your tool belt for later too. Sometimes locations I've worked with have had issues. One time a location was flooded. We couldn't have the thing there, so I was like, let's do it online. So there's things like that we can do, and don't let someone cancel on you if there's a solution, a creative solution that you can think of to move it forward. And I've actually had people, call and say, well, we can't do that now, and here's the reasons, and blah blah blah. I'll say, give me a day. I'm going to come back to you with a couple of solutions. And if we can't find a resolution, then we can postpone it or something. But give me one day. And I'll talk to my husband, my colleagues. I'll ask around, get some brainstorming going, and go, oh, we could do it this way. Like, this would be so much better. And it's not just doing it online. I mean, there's some hybrid ways of doing it. There are, let me write you a checklist. Let me do a training. Let me do, so there's all these different options that you can do. So don't just take no for an answer when it comes to some of these cancellations. We want to be mindful and respectful of what people are going through, but at the same time, like I said, with some of these organizations, they're just like, we just don't have anywhere to hold it. And so this is a great way to get your creative juices flowing and have, some time to brainstorm through it. Just give me 24 hours, or not responding to their email and just giving it a 24-hour period so you have time to think about it. I had a client who wanted me to teach a class in June, and so far it's still going on. And they said, well, we will do, X amount of hours. And I said, this is great. And then they said, oh, we don't have enough money to pay you and to buy lunch. Well, instead of saying, okay, well, you can pay me less, that kind of thing, I said, I didn't say anything. They just said, this is the way it's going to be. We're cutting the hours down. You're only going to get 2 hours instead of 4. I was like, oh my goodness, I need 4 to do this training. And so instead of complaining to them or saying, okay, fine, or no, I really need it, or whatever, I went out and found a sponsor. I knew what the subject was. I knew I had some clients that would be interested in being a sponsor. I didn't even know if this place would take a sponsor. So I reached out to my clients and I said, hey, look, I'm teaching this training. It's your exact demographic of who you're trying to connect with. If they will let me have a sponsor, will you sponsor lunch? And it's going to be about this much per person. And there'll be about this many people there. And they jumped on, I mean, they were like on board immediately. They said, let us know as soon as you know, and we're going to do it. And I said, I don't know if they're going to let me do a sponsor, but we're going to try it. And they said, just let us know. We're on board with you. I called the school and I said, hey, this is what I propose. I have a sponsor already waiting lined up. If you are allowed me to bring in a sponsor for lunch, I would love to do the 4 hours for the training and keep everything the same. And I'm just going to bring a sponsor in to pay for lunch so we can do the 4 hours. They were floored. They just looked at me like, who are you and what are you doing? Like, how did you just bring in money? Like, where did this money come from? So there's always some kind of innovative way. And I think a lot of us are quick on email draw, like me. Just be like, let me answer you right now because I have to answer you and be done and like get it off my mind. But at the same time, if we give ourselves some time to think, we don't have to always accept the situation as it is. We can come up with a creative solution to change the situation. I had a client who I was teaching a class for um, that was supposed to be the 31st of this month. And I said, I still want to teach it. And she said, well, obviously we're closed. And I said, I know. So let's do it online. And she says, well, what does that entail? And she was worried. And I said, I'm going to send you a link. You send it to your people, and we'll do that. And she was like, that's it. I just have to send them a link, the registrants. And I said, yeah. So it was the same time of the day. It was just online instead of in the location. We didn't change anything else about it. And she only had one person drop off of the registrants list because they had some other things that came up because of their job. And I said, that's amazing. We can still do things, but I took care of everything in these situations. I took it upon myself to have that knowledge of how is this going to work logistically. Whether it was for the lunch sponsor, how is this going to work logistically, or whether it was for the Zoom call that I'm going to do the training on the 31st. So I took on that responsibility because right now, if you, like I mentioned in the little blurb when I put the video up, if you had trouble thinking of ideas before, the frustration is 10 times worse now. And if I'm in the same boat. I had issues with like, well, what should I do this and should I do that? And then now I'm just like, figure out. But if you think about that, you're having trouble kind of navigating this and dealing with it because everybody is. Imagine what some of these people who have no control over their situation, the people who've hired you to do a job, the people who had these things lined up, these events. I mean, this world is still a very much an in-person world. We like to think it's an online connected world, but no, it's a very much an in-person connected world. And so there's so many things that we were asked to do, hired to do, planned to do, and now it all just has to be reshuffled. And the people who are trying to manage 10 different speakers or 10 different, coaches and 10 different events, and they're all trying to make sure that everybody's going to have what they need, cancel, reschedule. Like, they're trying to navigate all of this. If I can come in and say, I got this, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about me. You don't have to worry about this. And the thing is, a lot of these places had budgets to already spend this money. So there's nothing different happening in that part of the equation where they're still spending the money. They're still going to need to have the event sooner or later. It's part of some of their contracts that they have these events, some of their, um, not contracts, but like bylaws in a way. So you can still work, you can still do the things you need to do, but take on that responsibility, um, and just say, I'm going to figure this out for you. Because a lot of times, with the companies that I work with, they say, we want to hire you. I say, okay, I'll show up. I bring all my stuff. I bring my PowerPoint. I bring myself. I'm responsible for my little bubble. And that is not where we are now. We can't just be responsible for our little bubble. We have to take on more if we want to survive and thrive and also be seen as that expert. Maybe you're not really familiar with Zoom and maybe you haven't ever really done an online presentation. Tell them you'll do it anyway. I mean, this is kind of that fake it till you make it thing. We don't want to be letting people down, obviously, but if you need help, like talk to somebody like me. I've done a ton of Zooms. I just trained an entire SCORE chapter. If you guys know what SCORE is, it's an organization that helps small businesses for free. I just trained an entire chapter because I'm a member, so I did it for free on how to use Zoom. They're all older, over 60, all of them. And so it was challenging because some of them didn't understand what I was saying, but we got through it and they learned and they were happy about it. And now they're going to do all of their trainings online. But those kind of things, like maybe you're not familiar with these things, maybe you don't have as much knowledge and you're thinking, well, it's going to take me forever to learn. No. What is it? The saying, necessity, there we go, is the mother of all invention. When we have to do something, we have to do it. We have to figure it out. I mean, you don't, for all the mothers that are watching, you don't have a baby and then go, well, I don't know if I can take care of this baby. You just figure out, well, I've never changed a diaper before, but okay, we're gonna figure this out. I've never, breastfed before. I've never had to bathe a toddler before. Like, you just figure it out. The kid will be fine, but you do have to kind of fumble through some of the things. My parents learned the hard way that you shouldn't give toddlers shrimp under age 2. I had a very severe reaction. I was fine eventually, and that they were freaked out, but they figured it out, right? They had to realize, okay, for the next 4 children that we have, we're not going to give them shrimp before they're and it did freak them out a lot. But they had to make it do, right? They had to say, okay, well, we have this child. We're going to feed her, and maybe she'll like this. Maybe she'll like this. And so the same thing with this, Even if we're not familiar with stuff, even if we're not sure where to go next, we have the ability to adapt. And I think that entrepreneurs have a unique position. Large companies are like the big battleships. They are like the aircraft carriers. They cannot turn like sailboats can. They cannot turn like powerboats. And telling them to pivot, telling them to go the other direction, telling them to turn around, man, that's like it's gonna take them a while, right? They gotta you can imagine like an aircraft carrier, trying to turn. But we're powerboats. We're sailboats. I mean, you just tell us to turn. It's like, all right, get the rudder. Psh, all right, we're going the other direction now, and we can go fast because we're light and we're streamlined. So, thank you guys so much for watching. By the way, I will keep going for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna hop into a call that I have coming up. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the entrepreneurs are the kind of the powerboats and the sailboats of the world, and we have this ability to just to move and go a different direction. And that old friends, pivot, pivot, with the couch, we have the ability to do that. And I want us to remember that. I want us to embrace that. And if we try something that doesn't work and we're going in a direction and we hit a dead end, we go the other direction and we go out, right? We don't have to stay where we are. We don't have to um, sit there and think, well, what am I doing now? Why am I, okay, I'm just going to sit here. I'm stuck. Um, we have the ability to change our course and not not have so much implication for changing course as an aircraft carrier or a big huge battleship, right? We can move and change and grow and not worry about so much implication. We can try things, and I think that's another thing I have on my email. In my email signature, I put, "Stay positive. We are Americans," and meaning that we can do this. We can pivot. We can change. And if you have any questions, again, like I said, if you have any specific things like, well, I have this kind of company and I really don't know what to do about it, or I have this kind of problem and I'm not sure where to go with it, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to say, I'm frustrated. I'm tired of this. I want to just get back to doing what I was doing before. Um, I read something the other day. I've been trying to tell everybody to stay positive and to be optimistic. And, we've got through the recession. We can get through this and all these things. And I still believe that. But I did read something from someone who is a productivity coach. And he said, if you're angry, you can be angry. If you're mad, you can be mad. He's like, we don't have to always be positive all the time. And I do agree with him. I mean, I don't want anyone to ever go so deep into some kind of depression, if you will, because I've been there. I mean, I've been in depression before, and it's not fun, and I don't want anyone to get there because of this situation. I want people to realize that this is a temporary situation, just like everything in life, and that we can stay positive. But I did like his point about, if you're mad, be mad. If you're sad, be sad. But the main piece of that is don't stay there. Don't let it overtake your life. Don't let it overtake your brain, because it will, and your thoughts. That we have to, if we need that day on the couch with Netflix, do it. But don't let it become a week on the couch with Netflix. That's gonna hurt your business long term. That's gonna hurt your brand long term. So, and you know what? This weekend, I encourage you, and I'm gonna do this as well. And I'm gonna put a link here real quick before I sign off here. Um, to my tools list, because I did mention that I was going to do that. So I'll put tools. So I'm going to put that link in here so that you guys can check out all the tools. I'm going to be updating it this afternoon, so you might want to check it tomorrow as well, because I'm going to add some new things. But I want to encourage us this weekend for a little challenge. Excuse me, a little challenge. This is going to be really hard for some of us. I want you to think about the news. and, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, whatever you watch, okay? Local news. Are you going to leave your house? Is this something that you're thinking of doing? Like, are you not quarantined? Are you going out and grocery shopping and things like that? But are you leaving your house for any other reason, right? Are you going out and doing fun things? And no, we're just kind of sitting at home, right? I want you to think of how the news is helping you right now. Is the news adding to your daily is it being a daily benefit? Um, does your situation change because the coronavirus numbers change? Does your situation change because there's more testing or not more testing? Does your situation change because the president passes President, Congress, and Senate pass a bill for $2 trillion? Does your situation change? And I'm talking like today. Because, yeah, if they pass that bill, great, everyone's going to get some money, but not everyone. Because my husband and I are right at the edge, so I don't know if we're going to get anything. It's just going to kind of suck. Because we would like some too, but anyway. But not everybody's going to get that. And so it's kind of like it might change tomorrow that they're not going to pass the bill, and then nobody will get anything anyway. So my point with that is your immediate today, is your today going to change because you know that a bill is being passed or not being passed? Is your today going to change because the Dow went up or down? Is your today going to change because the president called the virus Chinese or not? Like all the things that the government or that the news media is telling us right now. Does that change anything that's happening today or tomorrow? The only piece of news, which you would hear regardless of whether you watch news or not, the only piece of news that you really need to know is when are we going back to normal? And I feel like that the news cycle right now is not giving us that information, and it's not going to be able to give us that information for at least another 5 to 10 days. And on Monday, we're supposed to hear from the president about what that next phase is going to look like. So between now and Monday, because I'm definitely going to watch that press conference on Monday to find out what is happening, I'm going to be taking a no news challenge. And I'm also going to, after today of working on my business and working, through Facebook and all that stuff, I'm going to be taking a no Facebook challenge as well until Monday. It's only 2 days. It's only 48 hours, y'all. And I will, if you have any questions between now and then, I will get back to everyone on Monday. I will check this on Monday. But I want us to actually unplug. And I'm going to do this. It's going to be extremely hard for me because I'm on my phone 24/7. But I'm going to go outside more. I have a beautiful yard. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to walk the dog. I'm going to repot some plants that I've been meaning to repot. I'm going to work on some projects. I'm going to open all the windows in the house and just air it out, okay? Because I live in Florida, so it's a little warm here, but I want to encourage you to do whatever kind of activities that you always say, I wish I had time to. Oh, if I had more time, I would. Okay? So if it's something you can do on your own in the house, do a puzzle, write a book, read a book, whatever that is, play games, that doesn't involve screens, that doesn't involve news, even turn off your notifications on your phone if you have them, and give yourself a mental break. I've been 24/7 with this corona stuff since like the 5th, since I was traveling during that time. And I've just noticed a huge, huge decline in my mental ability and my mental capacity to innovate. I can still see it for other people, but for myself, I need a reset. I need to see things for myself. I need that kind of downtime. So I'm going to encourage you to take the no news challenge. And for the next 48 hours, even starting now if you want, because it's Friday, you're an entrepreneur, and just because you don't do something today doesn't mean you're not going to get a job next week. So maybe take today, starting now. I have a meeting still, so I'm gonna have to keep working. And take the no news challenge, get off of Facebook, take the break. It's not long, it won't kill you, I promise. I've done it, I've lived. And take the break and give yourself time to not think about all this, to not even think about work. I mean, we're entrepreneurs, we're going to think about work anyway. But don't force yourself to solve the problems of yourself, or, your business, the world, everybody this weekend. So that's my challenge to you guys. And I'm going to sign off here. And I hope that this live has helped you. I hope it has given you some ideas. It has given you some encouragement, some juice. And I really encourage you to just take this live, ingest it, and be encouraged and uplifted. And then take this challenge immediately following. No news. I'm going to put no Facebook, no Instagram. Unplug. Okay? Unplug. And I will see you guys on Monday. I want to know how your weekend unplugged went. I'm going to make a note to comment in here and come on the group and ask you guys about that. All right. Ask about unplugged weekend. I'm going to come back. I'm going to ask you. I want to see some awesome responses. I want to hear what you did or what you didn't do. Maybe you slept. Oh my goodness. How would a bunch of hours of uninterrupted sleep feel like? How would playing outside with your kids or playing games with your kids feel? I mean, how would like making lasagna, like making food that you haven't made in years because it takes too long, right? Whatever it is that's going to work for you, I want to hear about it on Monday. So thank you so much for watching this live. I hope it's helped you and uplifted you. And if you have any questions or if you would like to work with me for a website in a day, branding in a day, or anything like that, please do let me know. I'm actually offering special no interest financing for up to 1 year for people who really do need the help right now. And I'm happy to work with you during this time to get your stuff ready, because once we do get back, it's going to be a massive scramble to ramp everything back up. And I think everyone's going to be much busier than they expect. So let's get everything squared away now so that when everything does get back, you're prepared and ready. Talk to you guys on Monday.